Hey, we did it.
What's going on?
You can do it. Yeah, clapping before it starts. That's, low-key the most fun part of this.
It is. It feels very ceremonious.
There aren't many times as an adult you get to clap your hands unless you're at a show or something. It's just fun to do.
Well, this is a show.
Yeah, so. It is.
That's what it says on that thing.
Yeah. And Jill, I'm going to be honest with you. I watched YouTube videos to learn how to pronounce your last name just to say it correctly. And then I get this, I always get hung up in my head when I did that. Like when I did stand up, I would always mess up people's names because in my head, I would always be like, don't say it this way. And then I would tell myself that so many times, and then you say it that way.
It makes you more nervous.
Yeah.
You'll just say it
that way so many times.
So it's like, I'm used to you as Jill 6 because that's what you are on Instagram and social media. But how do I pronounce your last name correctly?
I thought you were going to try it first.
Is it Gevargizian? That's not even close.
Gevargizian.
Gevargizian.
I've been saying I need to just upload my own video just for pronouncing it.
Gevargizian.
That's like your YouTube channel,
for
just
people to search
how to pronounce my name. Yeah.
That's as somebody with a cool last name, Thailander's a pretty cool name.
It is.
That's a sick ass last name.
Thank you.
Are you married or is that your father's name?
It's my father's name, and he's from Iran, and somehow his name got longer when he came over to the United States.
I respect that.
It was Gevargiz.
Okay.
And I don't have no idea. It makes no sense because normally names are shortened and made more white when you come over here. So a lot of people think we're Armenian because of that, but yeah, close.
That's interesting. So then it's did your dad moved here to Kansas City, or was he travel around a little bit before that?
He first was in New York, and somehow I think he met a dude in school there who was going to MU, and he's just like, "I'll go there too." I'm like, "You didn't even know what? Why did you go to Missouri? Of all
Gone
places?
West." I love that.
Knew a guy,
but he got his master's degree at MU.
That's dope as hell. Did you follow in his footsteps? Did you then go to Mizzou?
I didn't go to college.
Yeah, me either.
Me neither. I love this for us.
That's really great.
Don't go to school, kids.
Yeah. Really, that's what we're saying. That's the whole point of this show is we just like to encourage children to not pursue education. You don't need it. You don't need it. It's not important.
Just hang out, man.
Yeah, just life's a vibe, man.
It is.
Okay, so no then, but you grew up here in Kansas City?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Where'd you go to school?
Which school? High school?
Yeah, did you grow up
Blue Valley North.
Okay,
I'm freaking Johnson County. I'm sorry.
Freaking Johnson County.
I know
you say
some
that,
of the judgment that will come with saying you're from out there.
I would never. No, I'm from Raytown, Missouri. I did have a friend who went to Blue Valley North. She graduated in 2009?
2002.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, it does have a reputation. I went to a house party one time where the person had a lazy river in their backyard, a heated lazy river.
There's some very rich people.
Very rich people. Very rich
people.
people.
One of those people.
Yeah,
my friend wasn't one of those people, but we would just crash parties and make them rad. We made the parties fun.
Yeah.
We always brought the weed.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, someone has to.
We were the party
They didn't have good weed, that's for sure.
I mean, we didn't probably have very good weed either, but
it was at least better than theirs. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I definitely have a memory of smoking dirt weed out of a Coca-Cola can in my friend's garage.
Oh yeah, smoking some K-Town.
I smoked a lot of that crap back then. I'm like, does that even exist anymore?
Yeah, can you even buy that kind of weed?
Anyone smokes that anymore, do they?
The glow up, the
swag, is that a thing?
Yeah, swag.
Just all the stems and seeds and just it being brown and
so many seeds.
Oh yeah, and then if you forgot to take them out,
a whole job. You had to get your ounce for $50 and then fucking go through the whole thing.
Yeah, it's it was $10 an hour worth of work.
Yeah,
it was so much. And then if you forgot
at least
if you forgot to take them out, they'd always wind up there, and it would just smell and burn bad. And it's oh god, this sucks.
Not fun.
Not an issue anymore.
No. We would always roll them in backwoods because they were the wettest,
hardcore,
wettest, most molassesy kind of wrap you could possibly do. Yeah. I remember my friend used to roll them, and I thought that she was doing it correctly, but I think she was just being ridiculous. It was just coated in her saliva. Does anybody smoke backwoods during a pandemic? Is that what somebody is willing to do? Just coat it in their saliva in the wrap and then have everybody smoke it? Smoke their dried saliva tobacco leaf wrap. I love a blunt though every once in a while.
I don't love the backwoods.
No.
I don't even know how to roll those.
They're just like,
and they hurt. They're too much.
They are. They're intense.
Yeah, it's harsh.
A friend of mine smokes them all the time, and we'll smoke a couple. I'm like, dude, I can't do this. Like, let's roll a normal blunt.
A normal one.
Yeah.
Backwoods are too harsh.
It's a lot. It really is. It's a total commitment too.
Too much.
I don't have that skill. I can't roll anything. I can't roll a joint. I can't roll a blunt.
You can't. Oh yeah, we discussed this. You can't even roll. Have you ever gotten one of those like the roller machines?
Too stupid to figure out how to use it.
They are so easy. I'll show you.
That is what people say every time. That's what someone says. Like, it's so easy. It's just like this. And then I wind up, I don't know how, but I screw it up
you
somehow.
just need to practice.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is.
Are you one of those people that you don't like to do things unless you know that you're going to be good at them?
Well, unless I'm good at it right away, then I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Are you that type of person as well?
Not it, kind of. But with rolling, joints are hard. Blunts for me are easy, not backwards, but because you just like are putting it back together. It's like already in the shape.
Yeah.
But I do love the cones for this reason. I like
Okay,
how this is only going to be about weed.
It'll be a segment. A common shared interest
It's a
here.
big part of my life.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Did you get to celebrate 420 last week?
I did. I don't know if I did anything that special. I was like, it's every day is 420
It's kind of
in my
just
heart.
business as usual. Yeah.
I know, but it was like our first 420 as a city where it was legal
very
here.
cool.
And it's like what I imagine people in like Salem feel around Halloween. This is like it feels better that it's like
so
embraced
exciting.
here. Yeah.
No, I've been saying like someone needs to get me under control because now that I can buy anything, I am just doing everything.
Yeah.
Let me have a weed drink, a weed everything all at the same time.
Yeah, it's like, let's give this a shot.
Those weed drinks are awesome.
They're so good. We tried the James Lemonade ones last week from, where were they from again?
The Franklin Stash House.
Franklin Stash House. James Lemonade is doing a fruit punch and a lemonade. They taste just like it. I am California sober. I don't drink alcohol. What a perfect mocktail.
Yeah, and it's like, it's pretty low dosage for those. Those are only like 20 milligrams for the drink. I think that's about what most of the drinks are. They're like 20, 25.
I was drinking those Keef root beers, and I don't know, something about those drinks are just like giggly as hell. It's like not. It doesn't like put me to sleep like a lot smoking does.
They make you more social, which I think maybe they're more of a indica a sativa strain in those to make you like a little bit more social, to be like a social.
They might be, because I don't know what those drinks are. Yeah, that's a good point. Because the root beers are great for like a movie or something too. Because it's just like I just like have a super good time and I'm super giggly.
Yes,
sometimes when I shouldn't be, but
smuggled one of those into a bar last night. I'm just drinking my marijuana soda, and I'm like, they can't tell. It says it humongous on the side of the fucking can.
Well, honestly, so many people use koozies in Kansas City. We appreciate a cold beverage here. We're not ashamed of it.
Oh, totally.
I bring koozies with me whenever I go out. You put that on whatever you're bringing in. They don't know.
Yeah,
unless they like don't have glass bottles there, or like glass bottles aren't allowed. I feel like you'd be able to sneak something in. Mine's always the LaCroix, like a can, which they're not going to say anything about.
Right. I did that I did that at work with the Franklin Stash House, the fruit punch. Mm-hmm. And I just like poured it into a cup while I was at work, and but then I just look like a little kid because it's like I just look like I'm drinking fruit punch. Which is like
ring around your mouth.
like a red tongue. It's like, hey boss, just drinking Kool-Aid.
You have like Cheeto fingers or like typing on your computer.
That's good. At least you look professional.
Very.
Yeah. Okay, so then Jill, you obviously, which like if people are watching this, they probably are familiar with the movie The Stylist that you made. I would think so. But like, what was the journey to that? Like you said, you didn't go to college, so you didn't go the traditional route of film school. How did you get into making movies then?
Yeah. I feel like the like backwards way in, but I think a lot of people do that with film, especially. I was showing independent films here in Kansas City and met lots of filmmakers that way. And that's what like made me realize like real people made movies, not just like out of reach fucking rich Hollywood people only.
It's like, oh, you can make a movie.
I was like, that's possible?
Yeah.
Like, it didn't even dawn on me. But so I made my first short, which was called Call Girl, right before The Stylist was a short first.
Sweet.
And I wanted Stylist to be a feature from the start, but I was like, I need more experience. And like, I'm not going from a tiny short to trying to make a feature film.
That makes sense.
And I had like, it's like, I have high standards for what I want it to be when I finally do it. But yeah, I just like, I feel like I just surrounded myself around people who know what the hell they're doing. That's been my like trick the whole time. It's
totally.
Like, I'm like always working with people I'm like intimidated by. I'm like, but that's how I'm like learning how to do it as I keep going. I feel like.
Is it like a fake? Would you say it's like a fake it till you make it sort of thing?
No, it's just like a lot of work.
Of course, yeah. I feel like with comedy, whenever I was like, oh, I could do like a comedy show of my own, and then you like do it, and then you meet other people, you're like, oh, this is actually like a tangible thing if you put in the work. But sometimes whenever you're maybe like getting into something new, the whole faking it till you make it, at least that's what I always do. And like, going for opportunities that maybe feel like outside of your wheelhouse, like being able to crack into that.
Yeah. No, totally.
No, that's like, there's people who like are terrified of like doing stand-up comedy, and they'll say that, and I'm like, all you have to do, dude, is just go to an open mic night, and you'll be like, oh, well, I could do that. Like,
oh yeah,
like, you know, it kind of takes that mystique away a little bit. So imagine like being on film sets, like you like worked other jobs on sets too, right? Before you did that, like, were you doing like?
Barely. I was barely on sets. I was just like on a couple of friends' sets.
Okay.
And then my friend had this short script, and I was like, can I direct it? And I didn't even know what the hell that really even meant when I was asking completely. And then I feel like I found like the thing I wanted to do.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's like filmmaking I love so much because it's so collaborative. It's like takes so many people. But I think like everything, like you're saying, like seems scary before you. Even though I'm still doing it, it's still scary. I think like that's like a feeling a lot like people like chase like that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's exciting to like overcome that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So then Call Girl was the first short, and then you made the Stylist short after that.
Yeah.
What is, so if someone out there wants to make like a short on their own, what's like a typical budget on like a short? I mean, I'm sure it totally varies. Yeah.
A lot of people can make a whole, short for $0, except for maybe feeding people.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
But I've typically spent like $1,000 a minute on my shorts in the end. And we're still barely paying anybody anything. So it's hard. But I think the hardest part is post-production. Like it's easy to pull people together for a couple of days for the shoot, maybe for nothing. But someone's got to sit there and edit it for like a month and then do the sound and do the color and the music. And that takes a lot more time and focus. And I'm not one of those directors that edits myself. So it's like, I've done it before, but I prefer someone else to do it. I'm like, I can do it, but I'm not really good at it.
Yeah. That makes sense. Like you said, it's totally a collaborative process. So it's like, no, I want someone that's the best at it to do it.
I was even thinking I was thinking about trying to do a short again, and I'm like, I immediately get discouraged, and I'm like, I still have to come up with some money. Why is there's got to be so much money in this freaking world for me to make anything?
Well, and I'm sure a lot of it too. I'm sure a lot of people make shorts around there, just like, hey, I have this cool location, I can center it around here.
That's the smart way to do it. Yeah,
because it's like you yourself are also a hairstylist. So was that part of like your thought process too? Was like, oh, I can film this at my work when they're closed.
Which was in my head, I think, because of the Robert Rodriguez, his like teaching in Rebel Without a Crew, his book.
Yeah.
He's totally was like preaching the idea of like when you have no money or whatever, to write your ideas, like, reverse engineer it like that. Like, what do you have access to that will like bring your production value bring it up in ways that makes it look like you had money, whether it's like a super cool location or like a car or like. But so I was thinking like that. I'm like, I was in the salon. I'm all in locations that I feel like really make your shit look good versus just like shooting in someone's apartment or, but yeah, I was in the salon. I feel like I must have been in the salon, but I'm like, how's there not already a movie about a hairstylist that like kills like a serial killer? I'm like, Sweeney Todd doesn't count. That's the only thing anyone brings up like that's similar.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's so obvious. How does that not exist? So then I was
those
like,
are the best. Those are the best ideas. Yeah, where it's like, how has no one else done this?
I am the hairstylist. I got the knowledge.
Get there first before somebody else does. During like the filming process, does it just feel like camp? I feel like it would just feel like camp with having so many people come together for like a common cause. Like you said, sometimes you're not able to pay people with dollar bills, but the whole idea of creating something together is obviously so rewarding.
That's like, I think half of why everyone, like people keep doing it.
Sure.
For sure.
It's like you're half of it's being an artist, and then it's like just this like connection that everyone makes. I like say it jokingly, but I'm totally serious. I've like fallen in love with like everyone on my crew to like a crazy degree with like every movie. And yeah, like it's the like problem solving as a group. But it's funny. I was like, we're like really, when we're in it, it's stressful as hell. And I'm like, can sometimes be like absolutely horribly the most stressful experience of my life. And I'm like, why do we always look back at it like it's the greatest thing ever? We're insane. I'm like, we do love it, and it's absolutely the hardest thing fucking ever sometimes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It sounds
you're just like
appealing
up
to me,
against
yeah.
it. Like it's like there's no time or money or whatever, and you have to figure it out.
You just have to keep going.
Yeah.
There's no other choice but to like keep the show moving. The way you're describing it kind of reminds me of whenever I was in the service industry, where like you're in the weeds during like a brunch shift and you got like triple sat and things aren't going like the best. But then at the very end of the shift, you're counting the money that you made from your shift with your coworkers who are also in the weeds, covered in ketchup and hot sauce and coffee. And you're having your shift drink and you're able to like
Totally
look at the thing that you made.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like then. So it's like when you're directing, is a lot of it problem solving? Like, is it constantly kind of overcoming one thing over the other, or how would you describe it more?
It's like first like making a shitload of decisions, because every like department is just like has a million questions for you. Like, what do you want? How do you like this shirt? Do you like this hair? Do you like this light? Like, and you just have to.
And you can't be like, I don't know, just do it.
No, you can't. If you say I don't know, just do it, you're like, sorry, but a bad director.
Yeah.
You don't have any vision, or like that's your only job is to supply those answers.
Right, totally.
Because you're not like the technical anything.
If you don't care, you probably shouldn't be directing a feature then. Yeah, that makes sense.
But that can be, I feel like in pre-production, you can have the time to like marinate on thought ideas. But like once I go into like in shoot mode, you just have to like instinct, like driven decisions, like just make them like that. Like, so that can be, I give myself pep talks. I'm like, you just have to make decisions. There's no like doing that. Like, even though that still happens.
Sure, yeah, but that makes sense.
I need to have a meltdown for a second. Everybody.
Just for a minute. Just for a minute.
You can ask my cinematographer on the last movie.
Do you do you also like, so it sounds like you already like know going in kind of what you want. Do you like storyboard all your shots and everything as well?
I do a mix of storyboarding, and I definitely like shot lists. Everything. So a lot of it's storyboarded in my head. If I have the time to do like every single shot, I can't draw. They're just like shitty stick figure things. Yeah. But I know what it means, so I'm like prepared. But no, I'm like a big preparer. The last film I just wrapped a new film in the beginning of March that I directed, and that was like a whole new challenge because we had way less time to prepare than I'm used to, and I worked with like a whole new team. So it was like, it was exciting to see that like I could figure out how to do that, but it was like way freaking harder. No,
but that's totally out of your comfort zone. So it's exciting though. That's really cool. How did that
tell us about the project at all?
I can-ish.
Okay.
I'm dying for them to announce the freaking title.
Yeah.
It might happen soon. I'm not sure. Okay.
That's out of your hands.
Yeah. It's weird because I was hired onto this one, which is like kind of like a dream checklist on like I'm going up the ladder.
For sure. Yeah.
But I'm not like the main producer or anything. So I'm like, I don't have all this say, which is also a new challenge. Yeah. It's like, but the film is like a home invasion type film meets like a haunted house film, almost like colliding into each other.
Okay.
Which was really fun because it's nothing like anything I've done before.
Yeah.
You know, like kind of home invasion, like,
like The Strangers,
like that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah.
We totally even had to approach the whole mask thing. I'm like, oh my god, we have masks in our movie. This is a huge thing. What are we gonna do?
I saw that.
That's exciting.
I saw that in Pearl. Yeah, the first one.
Pearl, yeah.
Pearl.
Or no, I guess in Pearl they had it, but it was from the Spanish flu, not from
That's
COVID.
Right. That's right.
I was like, oh, they managed to do that. I wasn't even thinking of that.
And then this like place, can you say well, there was like another movie that was filmed in this house, right? That you did?
Another movie?
Wasn't there like, isn't this like a famous location?
No, but we shot in this old mansion that's like first part of it was built in 1750-ish, and the second
cool.
this house is like begging to be in a horror movie.
No kidding.
And then the main part of it's like this gothic mansion that's like 5 stories with this widow's like walk, those old school towers up top. Like once we saw the house, we were like, okay, we have to rewrite the ghost story we've made for the house and use this tower in some way.
Yeah.
Was the shot in?
It was shot in Maryland, in
okay.
Hagerstown, Maryland, which was my first time out there. It's produced by Ed Sanchez, who's the director of the original Blair Witch Project.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very
okay.
So I was geeked
Was that
out
the
to be
bucket
working
list?
out with or working with him. Working out, I need to go work out.
I mean, that's massive. That was probably, at least in my childhood, one of the horror films that kind of changed the game.
Totally.
On a big level.
So Mike Williams, the actor who plays Mike, because they all play their real names in Blair Witch, staring at the corner at the end of the movie, like the iconic shot.
Yes.
That he is in my new movie. So that was like,
oh my
I'm
goodness.
just trying not to be like a horror fan. I'm like, I'm a director. I was like geeking out all the time, like not trying to be cool.
Trying to be so chill about it. Yeah.
Not being chill at all.
That's so cool.
But Mike was so cool. He was telling us like all these Blair Witch stories. Like he was not too cool to like share all of it, which I could imagine maybe like when you're like so known for one thing, it might be kind of annoying, but I'm like, he was all about telling us all about it. And I was so excited.
Yeah, I would be so excited. Is it true that like whenever they were posting, like promoting for the Blair Witch, they were handing out missing people flyers for the people that were missing in the movie? I heard that I
think so. I didn't ask about, I know they really were like kind of in hiding afterwards.
Really?
No, dude, I kind of have to so dude, the filming of this thing is so fucking cool. I have to tell you the tiniest bit about it. Like I kind of knew that it was pretty real in the sense of like they just sent them out there with cameras. Like there wasn't a camera team with them. Like those actors are just filming it. There's
each
no
other.
crew.
Yeah.
No crew. They would each day wake up to jars with notes in them. That was their direction for the day. There's not even like really a script. They were going out there for 2 weeks camping. Like this is like pretty real. Like I feel like that's why these performances are so incredible. So like they didn't even know shit like when Mike loses the map or like throws it out.
Yeah.
Like he was told that on a note and like none of the characters other actors even know that's coming. So they like react to that totally naturally.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff was like, and even when he found out that like Josh like disappears, like he was like the first one to die or disappear. When they find out that, like when they woke up to that morning, he was like, yes, I just got a bigger role. Because he's like, I'm living longer. He was like, because they don't even know that kind of stuff. I'm like, how like I geeked out. I'm like, that's the coolest way to make a movie I have ever heard in my life.
It's almost
awesome.
like performance art. It's like real.
Yeah.
No, it's like
they're filming their real reactions.
it's a social experiment, like in a way that reality TV is, where
cool.
you're like manipulating circumstances. I'm a big Survivor fan, okay? And it kind of reminds me of
what they did.
Yeah, it's kind of like Survivor, where they're like altering the circumstances to just see how it's going to affect them. And yeah, their performances, like I have to be very careful whenever I watch that movie, because the whole idea of the people that you care about are like screaming in the forest is enough to like make everybody just goosebumps go up your back. It's one of my favorite scary movies. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've got to be
Thank you.
jazzed.
Yeah, I'm geeked out.
What a major bucket list moment.
I'm geeked out first. We like only just started editing it, so I'm dying to see it come together more.
No
That's
kidding.
exciting.
No kidding.
How long did you shoot for?
3 weeks.
Okay, damn.
So it was only 15 days.
Yeah.
Which was very
Y'all
hard.
are efficient.
A lot of work.
I mean, we could use another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like with any, I think Stylist, we had maybe 18 days, which is kind of long for a low budget movie.
Yeah. So then, okay, but yeah, you had the Stylist as a short. So then how do you go, like that's kind of like a proof of concept then to then try to make it into a feature?
Yeah.
How do you go from that step, like from the short to a full length feature?
Well, we tried forever to get it financed. Like we had this like awesome producer on board, and I was like, felt like we were like no question going to get this thing made with him. and it just still was taking forever. And so I went back to like the people I made the short with, and I was like, we got to figure out how to do this like on our own, like now. And so we did a Kickstarter for like the first huge chunk of it.
Okay,
we
cool.
raised like $60,000 on Kickstarter.
Oh, awesome.
For the feature.
That's really awesome.
Thank you. It was terrifying. But then we still had to. I mean, that's only like not even half of the budget for the whole movie. So it's like piecing it together as we're just starting to make it, which I think that was something that I was too scared to do, that I realized I kind of had to do, like starting to make it before we even knew how we were going to pay like for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's stressful as hell.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm like, then I realized like every filmmaker I've met, I'm like, that's how they started. You're like, you just have to start making it. I'm like that. I was like, I think that attracts more money somehow. Like,
yeah, because it's like you're already doing it.
They're actually making it. They're not just talking about making it.
That makes total sense. All right, well then, we'll let you get out of here, Jill. But like, where can people?
I'm a rambler. We can.
We can keep going. I'm sure.
No, but you need to come back and talk about the movie when you can. Announce the title and all that stuff.
So excited.
That's
to
gonna be
hear
so
about
cool.
it.
So, where can people find you online and find out more about what you're doing?
Well, at Jill6 with 2 X's on all the social medias. And sixtape.com is my website, which every time I bring up, I am reminded I desperately need to update it. Like the feature is not even on there. Like I've just like wrote it off in my brain. So I will do that one day. But yes, please follow me on all the things.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to.
Hell yeah.
Because I got to know when this movie's coming out.
Absolutely. And then, follow our show at Brittany and Patrick Show on all the Instagrams and TikToks and all those things. But
you better.
We'll put, God bless you. We'll put links to all the things in the description of the episode. So thank you guys so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Jill. Bye.
Thank you.